So I'm making this video just because I had a thought the other day, and I asked my friends this thought. And is there a thing as consuming too much art? And before I get into it, I'd like to share some experiences and to expound on that idea of mine. So when I was very young, I kind of developed this thing where I actively avoided movies just because I felt like the things that I would make, right? The art that I would make would be too influenced by those things. So what I would do is I would avoid watching movies, or I would watch just the trailers of most movies I would want to watch, because before they were more less accessible. And what ended up happening was it was so much more easier for me to write stuff. It was much more easier for me to make stories of things that I wanted to make, and I kind of relate that to the childlike way of making art. You know, children don't have any references, or they don't have like that inner critique that a lot of adult artists have, that you make something, you're like, oh, it's not profound enough, it's not technically good enough, and a kid just draws on something and it's like, oh, I'm done with that, just go on to the next. He doesn't care if it's good or if it's bad, or if people like it, or if it gets likes on social media. So a lot of my teenage years were me avoiding movies just so I can make things that felt real and ideas that spoke to me. And then eventually I got introduced to more indie stuff and more profound things by my uncle, and also by a friend in high school. Once I started delving deeper into that, I wanted to be profound. I wanted to make things that are more, that can make you think. And I wanted to make things that were more well technically crafted. And from high school to now, I've definitely watched much more movies, especially in the pandemic. I spent a lot of time watching movies just to catch up on things that I avoided when I was in high school, because I wasn't able to make films. I wasn't able to make art during that time because we weren't allowed to go out because of lockdown. I think what happened is that built my taste quite a lot when I judge films, when I write films, and in building that taste, what also happened is the critic in me became much more harsh. When I criticize my own work, it becomes sometimes paralyzing, that I'm like, why is this not as profound or as deep or as technically well crafted as the other things that I look up to and aspire to be? So the last short film I made was last year in September. It's been a year and I haven't made anything. I haven't made anything that is my own vision. All the things that I've made are for music videos for artists, fulfilling their vision. And a lot of it were more, for work stuff, for brands, for clients. And, I'm grateful for that, because I was able to work on stuff and I was able to save enough money to buy my own rig, buy a cinematography kit that I'm proud of, and that my high school self would never even dream about owning. But at the cost of that, I haven't been able to make anything of my own vision ever since last year, September. And I don't even think that my work last year, September, was good. My last good short film, I would say, was What's After Death, and that was in 2022 of April, I think, or March. But yes, it's been a very long time since I've made anything that I'm happy about or I'm proud about. of my own vision. I'm happy about Dilaw. I'm happy about anything I've made, from like Beanie, from Healy After Dark, from MRLD, from other artists that I've collaborated with. They're great artists, and I would work with them again for the rest of my life. It's amazing. But as an artist, I also want to fulfill my own creative vision for my own, like, I want to feed my soul, and I think that's what the problem is right now. What happens is it becomes this state of paralysis where, since you've been watching a lot of films, like, your taste builds, and whatever you make that isn't the same caliber as that, you kind of judge. You kind of say that this is not worth my time. This is not gonna shock the world or change the world or change people's mindsets toward things. So why would I even spend time and money to make something mediocre? But I send those stories to my friends and they don't think it's mediocre. So what is it? Like, are they just being nice to me, or am I being too self-critical? So yeah, I've seen recently a lot of Rick Rubin's interviews and podcasts where he talks about,
as an artist, if you like it, that's all of the value. That's the success comes when you say, I like this enough for other people to see it. Not other people like it, so it's successful. That doesn't mean anything, because that's other people liking it is out of your control. All that's in your control is making the thing to the best of your ability. I talk about it, usually the way I talk about it is greatness. And that's the way I thought of it. My whole life was, my interest is in making something great. Greatness, lasting greatness, timeless. And I came to realize recently, it's all an offering to God. And if you're making an offering to God, you're not thinking about, oh, what's the budget? Or I hope this segment of the audience is going to like it. We don't think like that. It's a higher vibration. We're making the best we can make to the best of our ability out of love and devotion. And the call came, how do you feel? You have the #1 album in the country. And I remember saying, I've never been more unhappy in my life. And I think we mistakenly think some kind of outward success is going to change something in us, and it does not.
wow, right? Dilaw hit 30 million recently, and I don't feel anything. It's like, it's great that, that's an achievement, and only a few number of people have reached that milestone. But it's views. Like, who cares? In some way, that story is mine as much as it is Mackie's, and there was kind of a satisfaction, making it. But it's definitely different if it's just your own thing without any like comments or interruptions from labels or the artist or bosses. And that's the thing I'm pondering, because right now I'm trying to avoid movies again, because I'm trying to be more authentic to what I want to say and what I want to do. Is what ends up happening if I watch a good movie and it affected me so much, you're like, oh, I want to make something like it. In some way, the film spoke to you, and you have something in your life that you want to say like it, but it's kind of still influenced by something. So I don't know. Right now, I'm just getting a lot of inspiration from music. New music that my friend sent me, Jinu. He's really great. And I think I find that more effective for me. Like, consuming a different type of art form than the one I'm practicing, I think is very helpful. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I don't have any conclusions about it yet, but that's my thoughts right now. And I hope you have a good day. Use code GDA to get 10% off the hands right away. Bye!